Imagine fastening your seatbelt. The cabin lights dim, engines surge, and your aircraft launches into the sky. You watch the map on the seatback screen as your route curves over the world. But look closely. No matter whether you fly from Sydney to London, Dubai to Santiago, New York to Singapore, one area of the map is always blank. A vast white void that commercial jets never cross. Antarctica, a place so enormous it dwarfs Europe, so cold that the ocean around it freezes, and so unforgiving that life itself struggles to exist. Yet air travel has conquered every other corner of the planet. Everest, the Arctic, war zones, oceans with powerful jets, capable of flying 12-hour non-stops at 40,000 feet. So why not here? Why has the aviation world drawn a silent circle around Earth's last frontier? To understand, we must peel back 5 layers of reality. Nature, machines, science, people, and survival. Start with what the human eye sees first. The weather. Antarctica is not cold, it is hostile. Temperatures routinely plummet to minus 60 degrees Celsius. At the South Pole, minus 30 counts as warm. For an aircraft, this matters far more than it seems. Jet fuel, the lifeblood of every airliner, begins to thicken and freeze at around 47 degrees. Now imagine flying into a place where the outside air, temperature at cruise, isn't minus 47 but minus 70. Suddenly, fuel isn't fuel, it's sludge. Wing tanks turn dangerous, fuel pumps strain, and the one rule in aviation is simple. The airplane must work flawlessly at all times. Then add the sky itself. Antarctica sits beneath the planet's most powerful jet stream. Corridors, icy rivers of air that tear across the atmosphere at 120 knots or more. To a pilot, these winds can turn a routine flight into turbulence so violent that passengers are thrown against ceiling panels. Even long-haul jets designed for storms cannot outsmart the Antarctic air. You do not fly through winds like those, you go around them. Next comes invisibility, ice fog, whiteout, and zero visibility storms. In Antarctica, clouds and snow become the same color. Pilots lose the horizon. Their instruments show sky and ground locked into one white blur. Even satellites struggle to see shapes on the ground. And flight crews practice landings constantly, but not here. In Antarctica, weather can trap planes, bury runways, and erase navigation. With these forces combined, one rule of aviation emerges crystal clear. Avoid Antarctica unless you absolutely must touch it. But this is only the surface. The real reasons go deeper into engineering, survival, and the chilling fact that in this region, if something goes wrong, you are truly alone. Every modern long-haul aircraft, Airbus A350, Boeing 787-77, can fly for 15 hours straight and cross 2 oceans without a second thought. But Antarctica exposes a hidden weakness: ETOPS. ETOPS is aviation shorthand for Extended Range Twin-Engine Operations. It means how far a 2-engine jet may safely fly from the nearest emergency airport if one engine fails. On most international routes, jets are always within a few hundred kilometers of somewhere with a runway. But fly across Antarctica and there is nothing, not a single paved international runway. Only scattered ice airstrips used by scientists, short, uneven, often snow-buried, with zero support and no fuel. Under ETOPS, if one engine quits, an aircraft must still reach a functioning airport in a safe time window. ETOPS 180 means 3 hours on one engine to the closest diversion. Many jets can now do ETOPS 240 or even 330. But Antarctica demands something worse. ETOPS infinite, because there is no diversion point. Lose one engine over the ice, and you could be 5, 6, or 8 hours away from civilization. Airlines and regulators simply will not accept that risk. Even 4-engine jets like the Airbus 340 or the Queen of the Skies, the Boeing 7, rarely route across Antarctica. Why? Because the continent has no infrastructure, no radar coverage, limited satellite voice communication, no emergency medical capability, no maintenance hangars, no de-icing trucks, no tow vehicles. And if a plane lands on the ice, it could become frozen into the runway for days, unable to depart until conditions change. Then there is aviation's most chilling nightmare: frozen hydraulics. Hydraulic fluid powers landing gear, flaps, brakes, spoilers, the systems that let a plane climb, descend, slow, and land. If hydraulic lines cool toward freezing temperatures, they thicken. A jammed actuator means the airplane becomes partially uncontrollable. On a normal flight, this is rare and manageable. Over Antarctica, with no airport in reach, it becomes potentially fatal. Manufacturers know this, airlines know this, regulators know this, and the conclusion has remained unchanged for decades. Antarctica is not friendly territory for commercial jets. Not yet. Imagine one more scenario. Your aircraft suffers a technical failure, not crash level, just something serious enough to require landing. The captain diverts to the nearest Antarctic research runway. The landing somehow succeeds on packed ice. Relief spreads through the cabin, then reality arrives. You have landed in the coldest desert on Earth. Winds slice through, clothing like knives. Temperatures fall so low that exposed skin freezes in minutes. And there is no terminal building. Not really. No climate control. No stockpile of blankets, food, or water for hundreds of people. Search and rescue is not a phone call away. It is a multi-agency international mission requiring ships, specialized aircraft, and coordination that might take days. If those aircraft themselves can land, sometimes they cannot. Antarctica's geography means every route from South America, Australia, South Africa, or New Zealand is far from major cities. Even military transports struggle during winter months. In mid-season storms, nothing flies. Commercial aviation is built on a quiet promise. If something goes wrong, people live. That promise collapses over Antarctica. There is no emergency response network, no medevac corridor, no reliable shelter where hundreds of passengers can wait. Every risk multiplies not just for the aircraft, but for the survival of every soul on board. Aviation decision-makers, insurers, safety boards, and airlines all ask the same question. Why fly through the world's most lethal environment when a detour costs only an extra 30-90 minutes of fuel? And so routes bend, curves stretch across oceans and Asia around the white continent, not through it. Will this always be true? Will Antarctica forever remain closed airspace? Not necessarily. The world has already changed from the early days of aviation. Today's jets fly thousands of kilometers farther than their predecessors. Materials are becoming lighter, composites stronger, hydrophobic coatings better at resisting ice. Cryogenic resistant fluids are being studied. Jet fuel formulas continue to evolve. Satellite coverage over the poles improves each year. In short, the reasons that stop airlines today may fade tomorrow. But technology is only one piece. Infrastructure must rise from nothing. Antarctica would need hardened runways built on rock, not snow. Fuel depots, heated hangars, air traffic control, search and rescue capability, communications networks robust enough to keep aircraft in contact every second. Some experts believe 50 years from now, climate and technology will intersect to make polar aviation feasible. Others argue that as Antarctica's ice melts and geopolitics shift, nations may carve out air corridors. A few dream of supersonic airliners arcing over the continent, trimming hours off global travel. Yet even in the future, one force may still decide the outcome: ethics. Antarctica is the last untouched wilderness on Earth. Treaty agreements forbid military development, mining, major construction, and industrial growth. Humanity may decide that the skies above it should remain equally sacred, a no-fly sanctuary protecting the planet's final frontier. Because sometimes the fact that we can do something does not mean we should. And so, pilots glide around the rim of the world. Passenger jets trace smooth arcs over oceans and nations. Seatback maps paint graceful curves that never dip into the blank white below. Not because of superstition, but because aviation is built on caution, logic, survival, and respect for environments stronger than machines. Now you know the truth. Airliners avoid Antarctica because it is the one place where weather becomes weapon, distance becomes danger, rescue becomes uncertain, and the world offers no second chances. Until we rewrite the rules of the sky, Antarctica remains unconquered, the last true no-fly zone on Earth.